welcome to your calf stretching video. So this is a short one, however it is very important. You don't realise sometimes how much we need to stretch out our calves, but things like knee pain could be due to tight calves. Where your muscle is tight, it pulls on the ligaments and the tendons, which could pull your joints out of alignment. Also, if you struggle with things like plantar fasciitis, which is pain in the sole of the foot, again that could be due to something to do with your calves. Not necessarily, but it could be. If you've been running a lot more, hitting the gym, walking a lot more, you might find your calves are really tight. So this short stretching video will hopefully help, okay? I am going to use a band and a block and also a wall, but I'm going to use this unit because I've got one close that you can see. So I will be using little bits and bobs as we go through, but not the whole way, okay? Right, when you're ready, we're going to start standing. We'll just put our hands onto our hips just to simply keep them out the way. And all I invite you to do is take a pedal first. And this is simply to warm up into the ankles. That's all it is. We're alternating one heel up, one heel down, starting to feel the movement through the foot, through the ankle, because obviously your calf is connected deeply down into the ankle, into the Achilles heel. So it's nice to get some mobilization there as well. It's all about movement as well as the stretch to loosen everything off, lubricate those joints. Then what I'll do is I will lift one leg off the floor and simply take an ankle circle here. If you need to hold on to something, that's absolutely fine because we're focusing on the movement of the foot, not the balance today. So holding on to something is not a problem at all. So just flexing the foot, pulling the toes up, drawing around in a circle, and then we'll switch sides. So we're simply lifting that leg, drawing a big circle with the foot, pulling the toes out, pointing the toes down, doing as much movement as you can into that ankle, yes? Okay, let's step the right foot forwards and the left foot is going to come back, okay? Now, the distance apart of your feet depends on how tight your calves are, okay? So play around with that. What I invite you to do is bend your right leg, keep the left leg straight, but the left heel stays on the floor. So my left heel is staying down, and I'm bending into the right leg, driving that left hip forward as much as I can without lifting the left heel. Okay, so I'm just going to hold it here. Everything else is relaxed. There's no tension in the shoulders, in the upper body. We are simply focusing on those legs today. Use the breath, especially if your calves are feeling really tight, then we need to work on an exhale to help the muscles relax. Okay, so bending into the front leg, but this heel needs to stay down. That's very important. Then what we'll do is we'll straighten the front leg now. You're going to bend the back leg and then ease off. So I bend into the back leg and then ease off. But can you see the heel is not coming off the floor, right? So the heel is staying down. Your bend might be minimal. Doesn't matter. As long as you can feel it stretching down the calf and into the ankle, that's all that matters. Front leg is staying straight at the moment and I'm simply bending into the back leg and then easing off, okay? Using that breath as you do and getting into that calf muscle on the back leg. So let's reiterate that we are stretching the calf muscle in the back leg, not the front leg at the moment. Okay, let's take the feet a little closer together, not too much closer, just a little closer together. Bend into the back leg now, hinge from the hips. Take your bottom backwards. Now to get into this front calf now, we're going to peel the toes off the floor, flex the foot and pull the toes as far up towards the ceiling as you can. So my toes are coming up towards the ceiling, heel is down, I'm pushing my bottom back. That's really important. Think about lifting your tailbone high. You're going to feel that stretch in the back of the right leg as well because your hamstring is connected to the calf, okay? So obviously we're going to stretch the entire back leg, and by peeling the toes off the floor, that goes into the calf as well. So pressing those hips back, lengthening the spine forwards. Take a little breath here, holding on to something if your balance is a tad wobbly today. And then we'll ease off. Okay, let's do that on the other side first. So stepping the other foot forwards, as wide as you feel comfortable. Bend into the front leg first, the back heel stays down. So don't be afraid to have an explore, okay? Maybe you're thinking, oh, I'm not really feeling that. I need to go a little wider. So we're bending into the front leg. Think about your back hip coming forward. So try not to twist to the side. We want to point both hips towards the top of the mats. So it's like, say, imagine you've got like headlights on your hips and they're both facing forwards. Yeah, we don't want to be twisting to the side. And obviously, again, holding on to something if you need to is absolutely fine. Then we'll straighten the front leg. Now we're going to bend into the back leg and ease off. Now I know my feet need to come a little closer together for that one. So I'm going to bend and then ease off. Okay, try not to have too big a bend because obviously you might put pressure into your back knee. We don't want to do that. It's a tiny bend. Maybe you need to adjust, bring the feet closer together. But it is simply to keep that back heel on the floor so that we're stretching into the lower part of the calf now, right down into the heel. Yeah? Play around with it. If it's too much on your back knee, if you're feeling a sharp pain into the knee, my advice would be not to do this one. Just skip this one out, okay? So it's really important, as I always say, to listen to your body. If you've got a sharp, sudden pain in an area that we're not actually focusing on, then my advice would be to stop, okay? So we're just bending into that back leg. We'll do one more here. Then we're going to bring the legs even closer together. Bend deeply into the back leg. Take the tailbone back. Lift the hips high. You'll feel the stretch first off down the back of the straight leg. And then you'll peel the toes off. And that should take it into the calf as well. So I'm going for a flat back. Spine is long. Pressing the hips backwards. Lifting the tailbone high. Taking a breath. Seeing how that feels. Maybe hinging the body a little closer down towards that leg. Seeing how that calf responds here. And then easing yourself off. Great. Okay, I'm going to use the block. Now, if you've got a step or something at home, you could use a step to do this. I obviously just want to stay here so you can see me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my right foot on the front of the block because I don't want the block to tip. I am not stretching my right leg right now. Okay, I'm just holding the block so it doesn't tip over. So then I'm going to put my left top of the foot on the block. So you can see I've just got my toes and the top of my left foot on the block. My right foot is simply holding the block down so it doesn't tip back. Okay, then what I want you to do is hips facing forwards. My block's a bit wonky. Hips facing forwards. I'm going to press my left heel down towards the floor. So it's really important. The stretch is in my left leg. The heel is pressing down towards the floor. Have an adjustment maybe if you want to put your foot further on the block or if you want to bring your foot further off the block. But you want to press your left heel, straight leg, down into the floor. The right leg is simply holding my block so it doesn't tip me backwards. But you could do this on a step. If you've got a step somewhere, pop your left foot onto the step and press your left heel down to the floor as much as you can. And so I'm feeling that in the top of my calf really, going up behind the back of my knee. So I can feel it pulling on those ligaments, which is obviously where my calf is quite tight. So I'm pressing that heel down and getting a big stretch into the back of the left leg here, okay? So obviously, if this feels really good for you, pause the video, stay here a little bit longer, okay? And that's all good. That's the perk of having a video. You can pause it and hold the stretches that feel right for you. But if not, I'm going to change to the other leg. So I'm going to step my left foot forwards, right toes, right top of the foot onto the block, and I'm pressing my right heel down now. And I'm going to readjust so that I can get comfortable so it's not hurting into my foot. And now I'm pressing the right heel down. You can see my body weight is over that leg. I'm not leaning forwards because if I lean forwards, my weight is not going into that stretch. I want my shoulders over my hips and I'm pressing that heel down towards the ground. Getting into that calf, yeah? Into the back of that calf. So a big stretch here as you press that heel down. Take a little breath here. And then we'll slowly ease off. Great. Okay, now I'm going to move to the wall, okay? So I'm going to use this unit so you can see me. You could use a unit, you could use a wall, whatever you've got. I'm going to have my back to you, so it's going to look a little bit odd. So I'm going to take my left foot, and I'm going to put my left foot up the wall, okay? So you want to get your heel as close to the wall as you can. Your heel as close to the wall as you can. And your toes, the top of the foot, are on the wall, yeah? We are stretching the left leg. Then what you're going to do is you're going to push yourself towards the wall or the unit. I can grab the back of this unit, so it's quite handy because I can pull myself in. My weight's not on the right leg. My weight is purely on the left leg. And I'm pulling my body towards the unit, pressing the toes into the unit, and the heel is on the floor. My left leg is definitely straight. And I'm stretching into the back of that left calf. Okay, this is quite an intense stretch, this one. So play around, explore, ease off if you need to. I feel really weird talking to the wall. Can't see the camera, but I'm still here, And then we'll ease off and we'll change sides. Know that you can pause and you can do that for a lot longer if you want to. Hold it for a couple of minutes if that feels good. So I'm going to put the right foot now onto the unit, onto the wall. Take your heel as close as you can. Then I'm going to bring my body weight, using the back of the unit to pull me in. And I'm going to bring my body weight towards that unit. The weight is not on my left leg. All of my weight is in my right leg. And I'm easing myself in. The right heel's on the floor. Toes are going up the wall or up the unit. And we're just pressing our hips forwards. Keeping that right leg straight. And feeling that yummy stretch down the back of the right calf here. So again, breathing out, letting that muscle relax and lengthen. And if you want to stay there a little bit longer, know that that's all good. But I'm going to ease off. Great. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come to the end of the mat. I'm going to take a roll down to simply get me to the floor. So chin to the chest, allow the body to roll forwards. Knees are soft. And then I'm going to walk my hands out. I'm going to take a downward facing dog, which is great for the calves. Okay, so hands come forwards, hips come high. My heels are lifted at the moment, so tailbone is high. Now I'm going to pop my right heel towards the floor and I'm going to bend my left leg completely. So right heel is pressing down. Literally my left leg doesn't really need to be on the floor. It's simply there to give me a bit of support. The right heel is pressing down and the tailbone is lifting high. Okay, so taking a breath here. And then we'll switch sides. So the left heel goes down, the right heel pops off. And like I say, that right foot doesn't really need to be on the floor. The weight is all in that left leg. The right leg is giving you a little bit of support, pressing the left heel as far down towards the ground as you can. And then we'll pop both heels down. So press your heels down towards the ground, lifting your tailbone high, easing the chest through. Taking a big breath here. Can you get your heels to go any lower? Cats are walking around everywhere. And then we'll come onto our knees. We're going to make our way onto our bottoms. When you're ready, I'm going to use a band, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my right leg straight. I'm just going to get the left leg out the way. So I'm going to pop the left knee to the side like that. Sole of the foot in the thigh, okay? I'm going to hook the band, over the top of the right foot. So it's right over the top, okay? It's not pinging off my toes. I don't want it to ping off, but it is over the ball of the foot. Okay. If you've got tight hamstrings, so that you don't focus on the hamstrings, you could sit on a block if you want to. So that way I'm really going to focus on my calf. But if you're not that tight, then you don't want to be on a block because you won't feel the stretch, okay? So what we do is we ease ourselves forwards. I'm going to press my foot into the bands. And then I'm going to use the band to pull my toes all the way back. My heel has popped off the floor. Okay, so I'm going to press the toes forwards. So I'm pushing my toes down towards the floor. And then I'm going to peel my toes back, pull on the band so my heel pops off. Okay, so you could hinge your body weight forwards. Again, have an explore. See how tight your body is feeling. Obviously, your hamstrings and your calves are connected. So like I say, if your hamstrings are super duper tight, you might feel this more through the hamstrings. But I'm working on trying to point the toes, which is great to actually activate your calf muscle, build a little bit of strength in it. And then I'm peeling the heels off to stretch down the back of the calf. But that right leg is staying straight the whole time. Yeah? Let's do one more this side. And then we'll switch legs, okay? So again, remember you can come back, you can repeat these videos. I'm just giving you the examples of the exercises because you might find a couple of these exercises feel really good and a couple of them you can't really get into. So it's nice to pick out the ones that really work for you and then to keep doing those on a regular basis, okay? So my right leg is simply out the way. The band is over the top of the left foot. And I'm working into pointing the toes and then peeling it back so my heel comes off the floor. Yeah? So pointing down and then pulling on that band to really flex the foot as much as I can. Okay, so it will help you come past the point that you would normally go to. Just make sure it's not pinging off the top of the toes. If it is, take it a little bit further down, okay? But I'm trying to get my heel off the floor so that I really go into that calf. Do one more. And then we'll ease off there. I'm going to take a seat, okay? I'm going to come to just any seated position. If you get your thumbs, pop them into the calf and start to have a little massage. I'm just pressing my thumbs into my calf. Doesn't feel very pleasant, to be honest. So can you see? It's good to sit not like that, because obviously the calf will be switched on. You want to relax the leg. But I'm pressing my thumbs into my calf. Probably won't do this as much as I should on camera because I would maybe be in a bit more pain. But when you find a knot, when you find a point that feels uncomfortable, you should hold it down, find that pressure point, and actually really apply pressure into that knot and stay there for as long as you can. 20 seconds maybe, working on the breath. And then you start moving around the calf again. So I'm using my thumbs, I'm just working my thumbs into my calf. And then as soon as I find a spot that I think, oh, I then actually hold it there. So I mean, this is a spot for me that's probably not that pleasant, but I don't really want to do it on camera. So I'm pressing down so that I can really feel that, and it makes you go, ooh. But it's a good knot that I want to get rid of. So I'm just holding a little bit of pressure, and then I start moving around again. Okay, so you do it on both sides. You move around the calf, so my thumbs are going into the back of that calf, and as soon as I find a point that feels like a knot, like a little uncomfortable knot, you press down with both thumbs into that area and you hold it there for about 20 seconds. Okay, my left one's not as bad as my right. My right's a lot tighter. So again, just have a little explore there. It's really good for you to get into the calf, give it a little bit of love. It's one of those muscles you probably don't stretch out very often, but it does a lot for you. So make sure you are giving it the time of day, okay? And like I say, it's probably more important than you actually realise. So I hope this stretching video is okay for you. Any questions, any comments, let me know. And obviously if you have any more requests, always ask. Hope you have a beautiful day.